Hello everyone. Today let's discuss one poem written by John Donne, The Canonization. The Canonization, 1633, John Donne, 1572-1631. The Canonization was written by John Donne, one of the leading metaphysical poets of the 17th century. John Donne wrote this poem during his early poetic phase, when he was known for his love poetry, often filled with wit, irony, and intellectual playfulness. The poem reflects Donne's defiance of societal norms, as it defends the purity and intensity of his love against external criticism. It is believed to have been written in response to opposition to his secret marriage to Anne More, which caused a great controversy and led to his downfall in courtly circles. The main characters in the poem: the speaker, the lover or beloved, and the critic or opposer of love. First one, the speaker. The speaker, often interpreted as John Donne himself, is a passionate lover defending his romance. He is witty, defiant, and intellectual, using logic to argue that love is beyond the earthly concerns. The second character is the lover or beloved. It's an unnamed beloved, is an equal partner in love, sharing the speaker's devotion. She remains passive in the poem, but her love is central to the canonization. The third character is the critic or opposer of love. The critic represents society's disapproval of passionate love. He is likely a political or social figure who wants the speaker to focus on practical matters like war or business instead of love. Summary of the poem. The speaker in the canonization passionately defends his love against a critic who is likely a social or political figure disapproving of his romantic relationship. He argues that his love does not harm to society, nor does it interfere with war, business, or politics. Instead, he claims that his love is so profound and spiritual that it elevates him and his beloved to the status of saints of love. In the second part, the poem transitions from a defensive argument to a mystical transformation, where the lover's passion is compared to a miracle worthy of canonization, the process by which someone is declared a saint. The speaker envisions that future generations will read about the love and they will be immortalized in poetry, making the love a sacred and eternal ideal. Now, the themes in the canonization, we can see the power of love, rejection of worldly concerns, love as a form of religious devotion, immortality through poetry. First one, the power of love. John Donne portrays love as an all-consuming spiritual force that transcends material concerns. The speaker insists that the love does not disrupt society, but instead elevates them to a saintly status. The second theme is rejection of worldly concerns. The speaker criticizes people obsessed with war, commerce, and politics, implying that love is superior to such pursuits. He dismisses the idea that he should concern to societal expectations. The third theme is love as a form of religious devotion. The poem equates romantic love to religious sainthood, suggesting that love is as holy and transformative as religious faith. The language of devotion, such as a canonization and a relics, reinforces this comparison. The fourth theme is immortality through poetry. The speaker believes that love, though temporary in life, achieves immortality through literature. Just as saints are immortalized through religious texts, the lovers will be remembered through poetry. Now, the use of irony and wit. John Donne playfully mocks societal disapproval of his love, using irony to show how worldly people fail to understand true passion. He uses exaggerated metaphors to argue that his love is so intense that it becomes divine. Now let's talk about the main symbols used in the poem. First of all, we can see saints and a canonization. Then a phoenix, relics and a tombs, the world of war and business. First one, saints and a canonization. The title, the central metaphor, suggests that lovers achieve a kind of spiritual sainthood through their devotion. They are not canonized by the church, but by love itself. The second symbol is a phoenix, that is, the lovers are compared to a phoenix, a mythical bird that burns and is reborn from its ashes. This represents their eternal transformative love, which renews itself despite obstacles. The third symbols relate to relics and tombs. The speaker suggests that the lover will be preserved like the relics of saints, reinforcing the sacredness and the immortality of the passion. The next symbolism we can see in the idea of war and business. The world of war and business. John Donne contrasts love with the violent and greedy aspects of society. The speaker dismisses the world's obsession with money and power, insisting that love is more meaningful. Now, the setting of the poem. The setting of canonization is abstract and intellectual rather than physical. The poem moves from an argument between the speaker and equity to a spiritual and mythical realm where love is celebrated as divine force. This shift in setting reinforces the mystical nature of the lover's connection, making the lover seem untouchable by worldly concerns. The importance of the poem, The Canonization. It is a masterpiece of metaphysical poetry. That is, the canonization is one of the finest examples of metaphysical poetry, known for its complex ideas, wit, and a surprising imagery. The poem's extended conceits, such as lovers as saints and a phoenix metaphor, show Donne's intellectual brilliance. Revolutionary approach to love. Unlike a traditional Renaissance love poetry, Donne portrays love as a private, intellectual, and a spiritual experience rather than just a physical attraction. This was a bold departure from the idealized love poetry of early poets like Petrarch. Blending of sacred and secular theme. John Donne's fusion of religious language with a romantic passion was groundbreaking. He treats love not as mere desire, but as a divine experience, making the canonization a unique and a philosophical love poem. Immortalization of love through poetry. The poem suggests that true love transcends time and social limitations by living on in poetry. This idea influenced the later poets like John Keats and T.S. Eliot, who explored similar themes of love and immortality. Now let's discuss the most important lines from the poem. First of all, for God's sake, hold your tongue and let me love. Here the speaker silences a critic who disapproves of his love. He suggests that his romance is harmless and not the concern of others. This opening line sets the defiant and passionate tone of the poem. John Donne here emphasizes that love is personal and it does not need justification. The next line, alas, alas, who is injured by my love? Here the speaker challenges society, asking who is truly harmed by his romance. He argues that love is not destructive like war, politics or greed. By contrasting love with worldly concerns, John Donne shows its purity. The line questions the obsession with the controlling personal relationships. Next line, call us what you will, we are made such by love. The speaker here insists that love defines and transforms him and his beloved. He embraces any label society gives as long as the love remains. This highlights the power of love to shape identity and elevate the soul. Love is depicted as a creative and divine force. The next line, we die and rise the same and prove mysterious by this love. Here the love is compared to the phoenix, which dies and is reborn from its ashes. The speaker suggests that love transcends death, making the lovers eternal. The passion is mystical, transforming them into something beyond human. This supports the theme of love as spiritual and sacred. And the next line, and if unfit for tombs, then here's our legends be, it will be fit for verse. That means even if society does not recognize the love in death, poetry will immortalize it. Donne believes that love lives on through literature and storytelling. This reinforces the theme of immortality through poetry. The speaker equates poetry to a shrine for the love, preserving it forever. The next line, and by these hymns all shall approve us, canonized for love. The lovers will be remembered as saints of love through poetry. Love is elevated to a spiritual, almost religious level. The speaker asserts that future generations will worship the love story. This line finalizes the transformation of lovers into martyrs. The next line, you whom the whole world soul contracts and dies. The speaker here criticizes those obsessed with power, politics and business. He suggests that worldly concerns are limiting and ultimately lead to death. In contrast, love is expansive, life-giving and eternal. This reinforces the idea that love is superior to material pursuits. Next line. Countries, towns, courts beg from above a pattern of our love. The speaker claims that the lover's devotion serves as an ideal for the world. Love should be the model for human connection, even in politics and society. The lover's passion becomes a guiding principle for future generations. This line extends love's influence beyond the personal into the universal. The next line, so to one neutral thing both sexes fit, we die and rise the same. The speaker here suggests that love unites genders and erases differences. In love, the lovers become one unified, complete entity. This reflects John Donne's belief in spiritual union and a transcendence through love. Love is depicted as beyond gender, beyond physicality, and purely divine. Now the last quotation. The phoenix riddle hath more wit by us, we two being one are it. Here the speaker compares the love to the phoenix, a mythical bird that is reborn. The love constantly renews itself and never truly dies. The lovers are both separate and one, just as the phoenix represents rebirth. This metaphor reinforces the theme of love's eternity and a mystical nature.